Hello friends, and welcome to a video. Long time no see. I had all of these plans for December and did absolutely none of them. So I'm back and hoping to get back on schedule. We'll see how that goes. I don't know if it's gonna happen, but I am here today to do my December wrap up, and yeah, let's just get into it. Okay, so it is like so satisfying to see like a journal completely done. But in December, how many books did I even read in December? All right, in December I read 14 books. Now, like I said, I hate this color scheme. I am not doing this year. I did do green and red for Christmas. And then pages are sticking together. These are all the books that I read. I didn't even finish putting in like my ratings and everything, so let's just get into it. No particular order. One of the last books I read in the month was Lights Out. I ended up listening to this on audio at the same time. The audiobook, 10 stars. I love the audiobook. So I ended up giving this book 4 stars. It was so good. I think the audiobook just made it even better. And so we are following our main characters, Allie and Josh. Allie is a trauma nurse, and she has an obsession with those masked men thirst traps on TikTok. And she ends up sending her boyfriend a screenshot of it and is like, I'm interested in doing something like this. And he thought it was weird, said, like, totally turned her down. Well, he ends up showing his roommate, and his roommate just so happens to be the man in the picture. I mean, you can follow from there. It is so good. I love this. I cannot wait to read the second one. Another one that I read, we read The Striker by Anna Wong. I gave this one 4 stars. I also read the audiobook to this one. It is a duet narration. First of all, I don't think it needed to be this long. And second of all, I think the only reason why soccer was even put in there was to call it a sports romance. We didn't see a whole lot of the soccer throughout the story. But anyway, we're following our main characters, Asher and Scarlett. Scarlett is a ballerina who, due to an injury, no longer performs anymore, but she does teach. And Asher is a soccer player, and he is on her brother's team, and they do not like each other. They don't like each other one bit. And the coach, in order for them to build like teamwork and to kind of, stop arguing and fighting, assigns them to work and train with Allie, and we follow them from there. I loved it. 4 stars, and I'm totally looking forward to the next one. During Christmas, I ended up reading How My Neighbor Stole Christmas. I gave this, I think, 4.5 stars. I love this so much. I read the audiobook along with it. If you didn't listen to the audiobook of this, you were totally missing out. The audiobook was fantastic. It is duet narration. It was so freaking good. So this is basically take Hallmark, How the Grinch Stole Christmas, and make it spicy. It was so good. So we're following our main characters, Story and Cole. And Story is in town to help her Aunt Cindy, who has had a hip injury. And so she is there in town with her sister to kind of help her. I cannot stop yawning. To kind of help her recover. And Cole is the next door neighbor. They knew each other as teenagers, and she left when she headed to college and hasn't been back since. And Cole he's our grumpy neighbor. And in this town, they have a yearly competition to be named, what is it, Kringle? Christmas Kringle contest. And her aunt asked her to join it because she usually does it every year, but she says because of her injury she can't do it this year, so her aunt asked her to join on her behalf. And Cole, because he thinks since she hasn't been back in years, does not deserve the title of Christmas Kringle, so he enters to try to take it from her, and we follow them from there. It is so good. Grumpy Sunshine. I love it. I will probably reread this again next year or this year. And I found out at the end of December that she is coming out with another book, and it is based on Home Alone, and it is his best friend Mac's story. So I'm so excited for that one. I did indeed finish book 5 of the Plated Prisoner series. This is Gold. I gave this 4 stars. This book to me feels like a filler book. While we do find out a lot of information in this, it did not need to be this long. I feel like we could have added a little bit to book 4 and a little bit to book 6, but I still enjoyed it. I gave it 4 stars. I love this world. I love the found family. I love our main male character, and and the way it ended, I'm excited to see how book 6 kind of wraps up the series. I'm excited for them to find each other again, because they are separated through this whole book, and it kind of, I don't know, that's probably why I wasn't totally into it either, because I'm not gonna lie, I gotta have a little bit of romance in my story. But anyway, so I'm giving this 4 stars, and I love this series. I love it to death. My Wraps TBR challenge ended up giving me a Dawn of Onyx, and I ate this up. I gave it 4 stars. This is giving me ACOTAR meets From Blood and Ash vibes, and I am here for it. I have been on the side of TikTok where they took AI and made them, you know, make the book characters, and it's really making me want to get on my wrap bookshelf and kind of see if I can see through the wrapping paper and try to find my next From Blood and Ash book, because I am missing that world so much. But I gave this 4 stars. We were following our main character, Arwen, and her brother has been, you know, off at war. In this world, different places are named after different stones, so that's why it's called the Sacred Stones. And her brother comes back, and her family try to flee. And when they get there, they realize her mom forgot her medication, so she goes back to get it, and when she does, the Onyx soldiers sweep her up and take her to their kingdom. She is a healer, and she has always had this power, being able to heal people, but she doesn't quite know where it came from or why she has it, and we follow her from there. I loved the main male character in this. You know, I love a good shadow daddy. You get a good shadow daddy in this. So I'm giving this 4 stars. I've already read the second one, and I'm ready to read the third one. I am continuing my reread of the Crave series, and I read Charm. So my reread, I am doing Crave, Charm, and then, what is it? Covet? No, it's not Covet. Whatever the second one is, because this tells what happens at the end of Crave. Because, you know, she comes back and she doesn't remember what happened. So this tells you, I would highly recommend on your reread to read this second if you want to be totally gut-wrenchingly heartbroken. But anyway, I gave this 4 stars. I love Hudson. I am a Hudson girl through and through. To die, I love Hudson. So I gave this 4 stars. Our Wraps TBR also gave us a thriller / horror, and we have The Butterfly Garden by Dot Hutchison. This was so good. I could not put it down. I read it in 24 hours, but it is very dark, so I would check your trigger warnings. So in this one, we were following our main character. I forget her name. Because she has so many names in this. So basically, this is about, they call him the gardener, and what he does is he kidnaps girls, and when he does that, he tattoos butterfly wings on their back, gives them a new name, and puts them in his greenhouse, and that is his butterfly garden. And when they reach the age of 21, he lets them go, and then, yeah. So, very dark, but I really enjoyed this. I don't know, it was giving me like Criminal Minds, and I don't know, I loved it. It starts off with the FBI investigation, and our main character is telling all of what happened in her interview. Highly recommend. Oh, and then I read God Killer by Hannah Kaner. I gave this 3.5 stars. While it was a very short read, but if I had not had the audiobook, I don't know if I would have finished this. There is a little bit of a subplot of romance that takes, you know, that kind of makes its way towards the end. So in this one, we are following Kissin, and she is a god killer. In the very beginning, her family is killed by a god, and so from then on, she hunts and kills. She is a god killer. She hunts them down and kills them. Until one day, she is thrown in with this little girl who has a god attached to her. And so we follow the story from there. They're joined by a knight who is on a secret quest. And so I enjoyed that aspect of it, the quest part of it. I will continue with book 2 because I already own it. But depending on how book 2 goes, I don't know if I will continue with book 3. So we shall see. My Wrap CBR gave me Babel. This book was very intimidating. I gave this 4 stars. It is a historical fantasy-ish. So in this, we are following our main character, Robin, I think, yeah, Robin Swift, and he ends up being taken in by this professor and kind of groomed and ready to be thrown into the Oxford society, and they call them Babel because they study languages. And in this book, the magic system is based on silver. So what they do is they take those languages and they take different translations of words and put those into silver, and with those translations they power the silver up and it kind of runs the town. So they put different translations of pull and push on silver and it runs the train line, or different things like that. And that is what he's working to do, to be able to work with the silver and kind of do it on his own. And this book, I mean, the writing is very good. I feel like that R.F. Kuang definitely did a lot of research to do this. There was a lot of like historically accurate things that was placed in this book. Was it my favorite? Not really, but I liked it. I gave it 4 stars. I do want to continue reading more of this author's work. I do have Yellowface on my bookshelf somewhere, so I want to see how much I like her other books. We had a little short one. I felt myself going into a reading slump, so I picked up an old and trusted Kelsey Ray book. I love this author. This book is kind of like an in-between book. This kind of shows you what the characters are doing, how they are, from the first 3 books before you go into the last one. So you're following all of our main characters in this one. I can't really tell you much about it because it is spoilers for all of the other ones, but I highly enjoyed it. I know a lot of people, some people skip this book. It's under 300 pages. Some people skip this book because they feel like, it's not really needed, and it's not, but don't skip it. It was so cute. It was so good. I gave it 5 stars. And if I'm not, I know sometimes I forget to tell you what the star rating was, but it will be up on the screen. I finally got to Assistant to the Villain by Hannah Nicole Mayer. This book was so freaking cute. It was quirky. It kind of made fun of itself. It's totally not serious. It is, oh my goodness. If you watched her TikToks, it is just like her TikToks. I loved it so much. I can't wait to read the second one. So we are following our main character, Evie, and she is in need of a job. And one day in the woods, she runs into our villain, and he says, you know what? You need a job? You can be my personal assistant. And we follow the story from there. It is so cute. It's very grumpy sunshine. He is totally falling for her, but doesn't want to admit it. And oh my gosh, I loved it. I cannot wait for the second one. And of course, I love the little frog Kingsley because he had his little sign that held up words and stuff so they could be in conversation. So cute. I cannot wait for the next one. I did indeed finish the Fallen series, and I read Rapture. So if you are new to my channel, this is a YA kind of romantasy that I read when I was in high school. I never finished the series. I got halfway through book 3 and never went on. So this is book 4. This is the final book. I finally finished it. I finally got to see how it ended. And I enjoyed it. I gave it 4 stars. So we are following Luce and Daniel. I can't really tell you much about it because it is the last book in the series. But Luce, something happens. She ends up going to this boarding school, and she meets Daniel, where she feels like she knows him from somewhere. She can't really put her finger on it, but she knows she's seen him from somewhere. And we follow him from there. We find out why she feels that way. This has fallen angels and things like that. I really enjoyed it. For the time of 2009, it was one of those good books that we all read back then. I read, my Wrap TBR gave me Trial of the Sun Queen, and I highly enjoyed this. I cannot wait to read the second one. I've already ordered it. So we are following our main character, Lore, and she is in this prison. She's been there since she was a child. She doesn't know why she was there. She doesn't quite remember much from her childhood. And one night it gets this punishment, and she is thrown out into the pit, and someone kidnaps her and takes her into the Sun King's court, and she is thrown into this competition to win Queen. And we follow them from there. It is so good. I love this so much. It's like The Bachelor meets Throne of Glass meets I don't know. It was so good. I cannot wait to read the second one. With the way it ended, I have a feeling about how the second one's going to go, so we shall see. I will definitely need to do like a little rundown of reminding myself what happened, because I have read so much since this book. I don't know, here lately it's like I read it, I get done with it, and then it completely leaves my brain. But the last book for this month is Promise Me Not, and I am sad to say I did not enjoy this, not at all. I loved Say You Swear. It was one of my favorite books from this year. It was a reread for me. Say You Swear will always be top tier for me, but Promise Me Not, I just didn't like it. It was just a whole book of will they, won't they. I love him, but I can't be with him. I love her, but she won't be with me. This book could have been 100 pages if they just communicated. So not quite my favorite. But I will continue the series because I love Megan Brandy. This is the only book of Megan Brandy's that has disappointed me. All of her other books are 4 stars and higher, so. But that is the 14 books that I read this month. I am very excited because I got a Fairy Loot subscription. So I do want to start a series on my channel each month where I do like my subscription box unboxings, where I have my book of the month, my Fairy Loot, and my Aardvark. So that is something I'm going to start this month, so keep your eye out for that. I did get my Aardvark books boxed in today, so I'm just waiting on Fairy Loot and book of the month. Book of the month is going to ship a little late because I did order a new release as one of my add-ons that I've been interested in reading. So anyway, I'm rambling, but thank you so much for watching. If you have not already, subscribe, like the video, join my bookish community. It would make my day. I know I've been MIA for a while, but I am back. I am ready to go, and I have got so many ideas if I would just sit down and film them. So please bear with me, but thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in my next one.